Well, he isn't old enough to buy a beer and is barely old enough to vote, but a Port Angeles teenager wants to become the youngest elected state representative in Washington history. As he sits down where he's finishing high school at Seaview Online Academy, Aiden Hamilton embraces his unconventional underpinnings.
I'm not a normal student, I'm not a normal candidate, and so I would almost say that normal rules don't apply.
Hamilton is running for state representative in the 24th district on the Olympic Peninsula. Currently 18 years and 2 months, he'd be the youngest person ever elected in Olympia. A child of the pandemic generation, Hamilton says he understands the concerns of both young and old.
I'm worried about people like my grandmother and even people like my peers. We can't keep up with the cost of living.
Despite his political inexperience, Hamilton says real-life experience is what propels him. His father suffered a serious health problem that left him out of work for a year and depleted the family's savings. Inflation has since forced them to move in with relatives to make ends meet. Hamilton says he wants to keep families together.
I don't want to have to leave this place just to be able to afford to live.
Along with his struggling family, Hamilton says 2 years of pandemic-era learning loss shaped his politics.
Not one legislator can look a student in the eyes in Olympia and say, I know what it's like to lose 2 years of my education to a pandemic.
The pandemic turned Hamilton toward conservatism. He believes one way to beat learning loss is school choice. Hamilton is running as a Republican against a Democrat incumbent about 60 years his senior. He hopes a different generation and a different perspective will bring a better future.
I think changing the perspective of Olympia is a very big and important thing.
By the way, the youngest person ever elected as state representative in Washington is Jay Vander Stoop at 23 years old back in 1980. If no other challengers appear, Hamilton will take on Democratic incumbent Steve Theringer in November. Eric Wilkinson, King 5 News.